Welcome to Sports Talk.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Nick.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mike.
And I'm Jackson.
From Sports Talk. We got an interesting episode today. And it's going to be one on Joe Burrow. Did the Bengals handle the Joe Burrow situation properly? Mike, what do you think? Go ahead.
Well,
properly, whatever properly means.
Okay. Now, properly, do you mean from an upper management perspective, correct?
This you get to guide this question. Do you think they handled it properly?
I look at it like this. I like Joe Burrow's weapons. Like, I like his wide receivers. I like T. Higgins, A.J. Green, Tyler Boyd, got one of the better hands in the league. I like his running back and Joe Mixon. But the thing that matters the most is the offensive line, and they got one of the worst offensive lines in football. Joe Burrow was sacked. How many times did you say, Jackson? 32 times?
32 times.
32 times. I believe that's third in the NFL. And that has a lot to do with the injury. That has a lot to do with the torn ACL and MCL. The Bengals needed to do a better job protecting him. Would I have started him right off the bat? Yes, Joe Burrow is the type of player that can come into this league and have success right away. Plus, that's how the NFL is leaning towards these days. They don't put a rookie as a backup anymore. That's old news in the NFL. They want him to come right in and produce. I'm a big fan of Joe Burrow, but I do not think that they did a good job protecting the man. They went and they didn't spend one draft pick. Tell me if this is correct, Nick, on an offensive lineman. Is that correct?
I believe it is.
They did not spend one draft pick on the biggest need on your team outside of quarterback. You needed a quarterback. You went, you draft your quarterback. I see T. Higgins in the second round. I understand that. But then how come after that you don't look for any offensive line depth? Your offensive line is terrible. That's what I got to say on the situation. They should have protected Joe Burrow. They didn't spend any money on their offensive line, and look where it ultimately got him. A player that guys from this injury, some guys never look the same. Carson Wentz has not looked the same since he tore his ACL. I hope that's not the case with Joe Burrow. Doctors are good these days, but you never know how you're going to recover.
Let me just add in there real fast before we get the hate. They did draft a 6th round pick offensive guard.
All right,
I don't think he's panning out. Hakeem Adeniji.
He's starting right tackle for this team.
Is he starting right tackle now or right guard? All right, well, he came in as a guard.
Hakeem Adeniji, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's a starting right tackle.
I actually think I saw him the other day, to be honest with you.
Trust me, none of them are good. Not one offensive lineman on this team is an elite offensive lineman, of course. And
Jackson, what do you think? Did they handle the situation properly?
So I'm still kind of confused by this question. And like Mike's answer kind of got me into the gist of it. No, they did not handle that situation right. I mean, you draft your rookie quarterback, and like Mike said, no one's going to bench their rookie quarterback. He comes in, he's getting sacked 32 times this year, 9 games, 10 games played. And you got to remember, even before he tore his ACL, he was getting rocked by Chase Young every third play. So, and I haven't watched a lot of Bengals games, so I've seen highlights. He's getting rocked every game. And they did draft that 6th round guard. He's not even playing his position. He's playing tackle. At least that's what you said. And I know there's a couple good linemen in free agency this past year, and they didn't pick any up. They didn't spend a dime on a lineman. And that's the problem. I mean, that's why your quarterback's getting sacked 32 times. You have a no-name lineman out there. So, no, they did not handle the situation correctly.
All right, real fast, what I'm going to say is this. Could it have been handled better in the draft and protecting him? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But some people, and it makes me sick to my stomach, are literally coming out and saying that Joe Burrow should not have played this season because the line wasn't good. And they should have done a Tyrod Taylor / Andy Dalton situation where they had somebody. I feel like that's absolutely preposterous. And the reason why is this. You draft the 1st overall pick in Joe Burrow, he's expected to play. Nobody knows that he was going to get his knee bent in backwards. Listen, I love Joe Burrow. Big fan of him. But one thing I can absolutely tell you is you just don't start a guy because you got to – I mean, the NFL, you're going to get hurt. You're going to get banged up. It was an unfortunate injury. But for the people now saying that the Bengals shouldn't have went to Cincinnati, remember how that was a big thing at the beginning of the year? People were saying, well, if Joe Burrow just drafted, he shouldn't go and he should refuse. Because That's not how an NFL is supposed to be. You draft the best player on the board. They drafted Joe Burrow. Now he needs to play.
Yeah.
He needs
Unless
to continue
the
his
Jets take
franchise.
you. Unless the Jets draft you, then maybe you should consider.
Yeah, but still, I mean, that's the way it is. The best player is supposed to go to the worst team and try to change the franchise. Joe Burrow got drafted there. And do I think they handled it wrong? No, I don't. No, I don't think they handled it wrong because the first overall pick in the draft is supposed to play day one. And he played day one, and he played at a high level. I mean, all of us can say that.
Do you think they did the right thing by putting the people they put around them?
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
That's not how I took the question. Obviously, I think they did the right thing, and I said that. I think they did the right thing by starting him. But I like his receivers. I like his running back. But what did they do with a bad offensive line? We saw Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon, in my opinion, is an elite running back in this league, or could be an elite running back if you don't consider him elite right now. But his struggles come from the terrible play of the offensive line.
I agree.
If the offensive line, Mixon would be a top tier back. That's just like, I think that their offensive line holds the whole team back. And obviously you can see that by the team's record.
Absolutely. And like what I'm saying is to you, you made a great point. To me, when I think of this, I'm like, did they handle the situation? Should they should absolutely start them. Whether or not they drafted offensive linemen, they should have. I mean, Mike, when their second round pick came up and they took T. Higgins, I was frustrated in a way that I said, I can't believe you're passing up on an alignment to protect your future quarterback. But I like T. Higgins just as much as I like the next wide receiver off the board.
They could have addressed it.
T. Higgins,
offensive lineman in free agency. They could have made a trade. The draft is not the only opportunity to get new talent on a team.
Yeah, I agree. And to me, I mean, did they handle it? And I think they had to start him. It's unfortunately he got hurt. People are saying, oh, well, he had the most dropbacks and he got sacked this many. But that's going to happen. I mean, when a first-round quarterback, I would say top 5 pick quarterback gets drafted, you're not going into the best circumstances. So you're going to get hit. It's going to happen. And whether or not they protected him, again, I made a video saying how much I like Burrow, and I think he's going to come back full. I mean, it's a really bad knee injury. It really is. But what I'm saying is that I just feel like he had to play. Did they handle it absolutely wrong? No, he had to be the starter. You're not going to bench your first overall pick. And he played, and unfortunately, he got hurt. And that's a consequence. That hurts the team. They're saying, oh, you should have protected your future. They should have, but you know what? When the season started, they didn't have a good offensive line. What are you going to do? I mean, Eli Manning, how many years did he have a bad offensive line? But he hanged in there. He never got hurt. And you look at people like Phillip Rivers, another guy that had a terrible offensive line. And he's playing through it. Now, again, if any of these guys had their knee pushed in backwards and tore their ACL and MCL, they wouldn't be playing like Joe Burrow is, although you did mention Phillip Rivers played through an ACL. But Joe Burrow's injury is impossible to play through. But what I'm saying is, what I'm trying to say,
it was Rivers. Rivers should not have played through that.
Absolutely not. This is unplayable. But what I'm trying to make the point is Joe Burrow, it's unfortunate what happened. And a lot of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, like the Hall of Famers, they have something called durability. And if they were in Joe Burrow's shoes, their knee would have broke too. Like it would have absolutely got shattered. There was nothing that Joe could have done to avoid this. But the difference between Joe Burrow in a bad situation and these guys in a bad situation, it just seemed like Eli Manning was like a freaking, he was covered in a metal shield, man. He would get hit a lot, but he just never got hurt. And it stinks to happen to Burrow. I wish him the best of luck. I really like the guy. I think he has a lot of talent. But, man, it's just unfortunate what happened in the situation you got put in. But, again, if you're the Bengals, you take the best quarterback who they thought was Burrow, and you plug him in right away, and unfortunately an injury happened. Jackson, anything else? You're very – what do you think?
I mean, no quarterback's going to do well in that situation. I mean, that's all I really got to say.
Yeah. I mean, I think he played well for what he had around him.
Oh, absolutely. He played great.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. Great weapons around him.
I'll say one thing.
He does have great weapons.
Zach Taylor, I think he was too throw heavy. I do think he was too throw heavy for a rookie quarterback.
He's also missing his running back a lot.
I know. But even with Joe Mixon, me and Nick both got unfortunate and took him in fantasy football, and we noticed
traded for him.
Is not running the ball.
I drafted him.
I don't think they ran the ball enough as a team this season. I mean, even if you have a bad offensive line, you got to try to establish some type of run game, or you're not going to have any success.
I agree.
So I think they should have tried to run the ball more. I think they passed a little too much. I mean, I'm not saying that's why he got hurt, but I mean, it could be he took a lot of hits because of that.
Yeah, He did. Like I said, the only thing that stinks is like it was so unfortunate what happened. I mean, he got hit and stuff. Like, all right, he got banged up. I saw him dive out for in the play, reach out for the touchdown. Chase Young hit him, or somebody hit him, and the ball came loose in the end zone. And I was like, he shouldn't be taking these hits, but he loves fully. He really wants to win. He wants to win. And then his knee goes in back. It pushes inward, and from out his left knee goes inward and gets pushed back. I mean, Mike, you know just as well as I do, that's an ACL, MCL, and it's going to take. It's a. They said they need these reconstructive or constructive surgery of the left knee. I mean, what I was telling Jackson yesterday is I hope to God it doesn't ruin his career, but like you guys know in baseball and everything, the power all starts on your back right hip if you're a righty, and then it transfers to that left knee when you finish through.
That's his plant foot. A lot of times in
right.
reconstruction, they might need to take a ligament from someplace else and put it in. It depends how destroyed his ligament is. It's a scary injury. Teddy Bridgewater missed 2 seasons with a blown up knee.
Was it his planning knee or was it his other knee?
It does. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's tough to come back from, but doctors are good now. So Burrow should. I would expect him next season, but he might not be ready to start the season.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if he's back. It's gonna be tough. I'm just questioning. Like you start, it's all on your right hip, and when you finish through, even with a pitch in baseball, Mike, where does all that weight transfer when you?
It goes to the left foot.
It goes right to your left leg.
But
right to your left kneecap.
The Bengals should lose out the season and take Penny Sewell with their first round.
Absolutely.
That would be perfect, wouldn't it? Like honestly, that would be like.
I mean, yeah, that would be perfect.
Take a lot. You don't need a quarterback. You got Joe. You don't need another receiver. Your defense is definitely iffy, but I think you absolutely got to protect your future and take Penny or Penai. I don't even know how you say it. He is, from what I've seen so far, the little clip, and I can't wait until we get into it. I am so excited for the actual draft that's going to be coming up eventually, and we get to sit down and study these guys. But from the little things I've seen, he looks incredible. I mean, I have to sit down and watch, but I think that would be a great addition to this Bengals team. Anybody else?
Nope. I just got to say one thing. Bengals fans, we're praying for you. We hope Burrow makes it out all right. We hope to see him back on the field next year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
that better.
I mean, I really love that Bengals franchise. I do.
We were iffy about Zach Taylor. I don't mind Zach Taylor.
I like him, man.
Yeah, Zach Taylor's a good coach.
Yeah, they just need to bring. I don't know if the GM chooses the draft picks or whatever, but what they gotta do now is protect Joe Burrow. That needs to be the number one priority. Bengals fans, I think you got a future with this kid. I think you guys get a solid offense, real solid offense besides the offensive line. And your defense, man, that's the only other thing you got to spicing up. They got great receivers. They got good running back. I think they can potentially have great running backs if you get a good offensive line. They need a tight end. They got definitely a bottom of the line offensive line, and their defense is definitely shaky. I would say below the top 15 for sure.
I like Jesse Bates a lot, though.
But it's not that good.
No, they got some solid pieces all around. Like they got some
build around Jesse Bates. That's all I gotta say.
All right, that's all. Sign off now. Nick,
Mike,
Jackson
from Sports Talk. Mike, we are
built better.
See you guys soon. Peace.